Look at this. Some redneck did this to my 99 Astro van. I guess they didn't want to drop the fuel tank. The Astro vans had a lot of problems with the fuel. All the Chevy vans did, the fuel pumps going out. They cut way too much floor out. There's a piece of stuff that they have to cover it, but it's way too much that they cut off. All those Chevy vans had fuel pump problems. Probably all the cars did. I just can't believe how much they cut off. They didn't know what they were doing. It shows on YouTube how to measure it and cut it. They cut way too much. At least it's got a brand new fuel pump in it. The neighbor sold me the van and he didn't know that hole was in there. He started taking it down from the underneath. And then he seen that big hole go up through. Then he put it back together and went inside and put the fuel pump in from the inside. I can't believe I bought another Astro van. I had 4 of them, they were junk. This one runs really good. It's got 325,000 miles on it, but I think they changed the motor. They might have put a crate motor in. It runs really good. It's really strong too. It's a rust-free van from California. I did the Carfax on it. Some business owned it in California. Then it went to Minnesota. Then it came to Florida. The guy who had it in Florida owned it for 15 years. He's probably the one who changed the engine. I hope it's a crate engine, but you'd never know. You can't really see it unless you take the dog cover off. I haven't taken that off yet, so I don't know what it looks like. They are good vans if they run, if they stay running. The one I had was a Mark III conversion. It got 26 miles to the gallon on the highway if you leave the AC off. When I'd go to Daytona at night, I would leave the AC off and drive 55. It got 26 with a 4.3 V6 engine. They're good vans as long as they stay running. This one right now has a rear main oil seal leaking. I put that Blue Devil in. It didn't work. It's been in there almost a week now. And I've driven the couple hundred miles that they tell you gotta drive. The mechanic's gonna fix it right. He said he'll pull the transmission from the motor, put new rear main seal in the motor, put new front seal in the transmission, which doesn't even need it, but why not do it while it's apart? And a new rear main seal in the transmission too. It's not even leaking. He's gonna do all that for $300. Online, if you Google it, it's anywhere from $600 to $900 just to do the rear main seal. It's not cheap at all. This should be a good van. It just, you have to keep oil in it. The oil dipstick's broke too, so I have no idea how much oil really is in it. I need to get the dipstick tube fixed. Somehow when I put the dipstick down in, the neighbor that was trying to fix it, the dipstick actually caught on fire. It shorted out on the starter. It's crazy. And it burned the moving blanket he was laying on. I can't believe he tried to put it out by hand and burn his hand. Why didn't he pull it out from under the van and stomp it with his feet? So now I need to get the dipstick fixed. I just need another dipstick, but I think the dipstick holder has to be remounted. The day I got the van, it wouldn't start. He put a $150 starter in it. It's probably a lifetime starter. It's made in Mexico too for $150. I can't believe that. I like AC Delco, but AC Delco's all Mexico anymore. I found a lot of old Chevy parts, old stock parts made in USA on eBay. They can still be found, you just have to try to find them. I was able to find a water pump for my Chevy Cruze made in Canada. That was real hard to find. Everything's made in China and Mexico anymore. It's crazy. I only like good parts for my car. That water, or that fuel pump right there is probably made in China. I didn't look at it close, I didn't try to read it, but I wouldn't be surprised. China or Mexico. It's kind of good that it is cut open like that, because if it goes out, it'll be easy to change. They just cut so much out of it. Look how much they hacked out of that floor. They could have cut it a lot less. It shows on YouTube exact measurements where to cut. I think they just started cutting, hoping they'd find it perfectly, but they didn't. That cover will cover it back up. They had it looks like epoxy resin on that. Not epoxy, what's it called? Silicone. It looks like they put that silicone around it, but it came up. I think I'm gonna put silicone the whole way around and screw it down. It wasn't screwed down, that's why it came up. With a bunch of screws. It sure runs good for 325,000 miles. The transmission's good. The hole up underneath is all rust free from California. I'm the 5th owner. The last owner, my neighbor, had it for about, he says he drove it 20,000 miles. I think it was about 24,000 actual miles, maybe more. I can't believe the tag for it was only, was it $35? $34.99? My Chevy van is, the full-size G20 is $59 a year. I couldn't believe how the tag was so cheap. I'm filming in a Sony 4K HDR AX33 camcorder. Sony calls it a Handycam. The 4K videos come out so good over the 1080p that I used to shoot with.